zone. Touchdown.
Second down 5. Cartier Johnson bouncing it to the outside. Touchdown!
Can it be a rivalry? Can the game be a rivalry still?
Well, if you play 84 times, it's got to be a rivalry, right?
But when you played it the last 13 or the last 12, one team's won 11. Is it a rivalry? You always say to me, you're the one who tries to tell me, and I never used to believe it. I always thought a rivalry is a rivalry. But then you got inside my head
that there has to be some parity, that they have to go back and forth exchanging wins.
Yeah.
I would say the rivalry is not as strong when one team dominates, no doubt about it.
They still get big crowds.
They do. Well, listen, it's,
Did not
it
hear
started
Artie
when, in
Trollo
1929?
I know. I did not hear, Artie was part of that as a player and a coach.
Right.
He's no longer the head coach at Harrison. Some of the images after Rye Harrison games when Harrison would lose, watching Artie,
yeah,
it was incredible. I wonder if he was like in a disguise watching the game.
And this was like a brunch meeting.
11 o'clock.
That is tough for a football player. I gotta say, it is tough to play a full contact football game at 11 a.m. just because historically your body/football clock is not programmed to play at 11 o'clock in the morning. I know you practice early, but I don't know.
What do you like about this guy, Andrew Livingston?
He's got a resume.
He does.
You know what I mean? He's got a resume. He's been there. And the leadership is going to be omnipresent with Livingston this year. There is nothing he's going to see on the football trail this year that he hasn't seen before.
If you went to the game at Rye High School wanting to see the Brown University-bound chucker throw the ball, you're out of luck. If you went there watching him to run the ball, never thinking you'd see it, guy ran for like 130 yards. Let's get it on.
Like a UPS truck.
Here's one of his few throws to Drew Abate on 4th down in the first quarter. That keeps it alive with Livingston. Yep. Spins his way in. Point after good. Garnett's led 7-0. Timmy McGraw. I love this guy. Going to Yale on a baseball scholarship. A wonderful athlete. Picks off Joe Nanarella. And that would set up Cartier Johnson. 10-yard touchdown. And just like that, Rye up 14-0.
Listen, last year it took him a fourth quarter touchdown to win it. Not this year.
Here come the Huskies. Rashawn Gilmore, 6 yards up the gut. Cut it in half, 14-7. Rye would hit a field goal just before the half to give him a 10-point lead. And then in the third, Nanarello, look at the pitch to Zach Evans, 22-yard touchdown.
Concentration on the ball. Huskies coming off a tough loss to Panis.
CJ, give it to me again, coach. So he rewards Dino Gar with his second touchdown, and they go on to win the game 24-13. Then they jump in the pond.
Apparently the rains came.
No, you don't know what that is?
Nugent Field. Yeah, they got the pond there.
Jump in the pond.
That's nice.
It is. Sometimes when that game is played in November, that's you got to bring your skates.
They caught a break right there, although it was a cool Saturday.
I know. Could you imagine you have to get a guy, an ice fisherman out there? Boy, I tell you what, this guy Livingston's been around for a while. Seemingly, he's been at Rye for 15 years. He's played in a lot of these games. He's played in 4 of them.
He measures himself like Stanford Cal. Like when you're the Stanford quarterback or the Cal, you measure how you did in the big one, Ohio State, Michigan. How'd you do against them? Well, Livingston, he's got a little resume when it comes to playing Harrison.
He's done good.
The Harrison game is such a huge game for the program, for the community. To go 3-1 is huge. To come in your senior year in front of your home crowd and close it out is huge. It's a great feeling.
How important was it for you to win on your home field after losing here 2 years ago?
Absolutely. My 8th grade year was a 21-20 year. When I come out my freshman year, my junior year, we win at Harrison. We lost my sophomore year here, and it's just a huge difference. You can't compare winning away and winning home. You got your home crowd over here. It's huge.
Now moving forward, you have a lot of more goals for the year. What do you have now in store, and how do you kind of move past this and move forward?
Right, we got Sleepy Hollow next week. It's a huge, great game, great team. It'll be a huge game for us. We'll enjoy it tonight, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow.
You can see why that kid's going to the Ivy League.
Right? Oh,
yeah.
He looks like a state senator.
He does. Composed. He's very, very composed. That Sleepy Hollow game, we're going to show you highlights of them in
3-1.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Well, our guy DiMatteo, Tony D, Two-time defending champs with Somers. And then Yorktown. This was no lacrosse match.
Three-time, right, in Class A?
Is it 3 or 2?
I think it's 3.
Really? Okay.
Just in the section. Maybe you're right.
I don't know.
This one was like in the family a little bit, you know?
Well, yeah, tell that story.
Well, because you know, we're going to talk a lot about Nick Santavica, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that's Ronnie's
His
nephew.
uncle Ron. Ronnie won all the 2 titles, I think, as the head coach of Yorktown.
Yeah.
And Ron and Roger Santavica, Nick's father, played for Tony at Roosevelt. So this is a little bit of family business here.
So those are some bad dudes, man. When
Yeah.
you played for Tony D at Roosevelt,
Yes.
that was no joke.
Yes,
That was it. Let's put it this way: the Roosevelt that we know today in Yonkers ain't the Roosevelt when Tony D was coaching.
Yeah, and that's, you know, listen, when Ron Santavica was coaching in Yorktown, that's like the glory years for football. And
State titles.
Maybe now they get a little synergy from that lacrosse after what went on last June.
If I'm not mistaken, the only banners you see a lot of lacrosse banners up in that field, but the only football one you see is from Santavica.
No doubt.
They went up to the Dome and won that title.
But, you know, his kid doesn't go to Somers, he goes to Yorktown. So here we go.
Well, we like Mike Resigno, good young coach.
Yes.
And he was coaching on this day against the legend.
Opening drive of the game, Yorktown gets on the board. Ryan Baker, the quarterback. 17-yard scramble. Baker into the end zone. Yorktown up 7-0. Right back comes Somers. Quarterback Nicky Lombardo with Casey Lux. 28-yard on that strike. Game is tied at 7. It's a good one. Second quarter, the aforementioned Santavica. The nephew of Ronnie Santavica. 55-yard run. He's ruled down before the ball comes out. Yorktown gets a TD.
When I watched it again, he was definitely down.
So they're up 14-7 at the half. Fourth quarter, Santavica again. This time he's into the end zone. This time the ground doesn't force it out. And look at this. They upset. Maybe it is the 2-time defending champ. I don't know.
They've won multiple championships.
Yeah.
We know that.
But it was a good win, and Tony D's quote after the game was on Nicky, "I wish I was coaching him."
He was good. He was good. And so was his buddy Timmy Forbes, the tough linebacker. Let's start the post game with Tim.
You know, we're gonna play our football. We're not gonna talk. We're just gonna play. So say what you want. We're gonna silence you. We're gonna play hard.
To be honest, I think that people should look out for Yorktown. Yeah. So we're coming to beat them. We don't care if we're underdogs or top seed. We're coming to play. That's all.
It's a good win.
It's a good win.
It's a good win.
It's a good win.
Yeah, I mean it's a character win, and this early in September, if you're Yorktown now, you go to football practice this week.
Yeah.
You start to believe a little bit, Mike. You start to think the big picture here. We could put something together.
Sleepy Hollow's jacked up. They're excited.
Well, Halloween's right around the corner.
I know, right?
We going to the Halloween Spectacular this year?
We should.
Oh, it's tremendous. I'm telling you, anybody out there that hasn't been to the Sleepy Hollow Halloween Fright Walk, whatever you want to call that thing, it's incredible.
Well, I'll tell you, before we get to that, we might have to go to the Sleepy Hollow Rye game.
Wow.
Because Sleepy Hollow won again and got another win. Took down Nyack.
Taking on the Indians. Nyack was actually up 6-0. Sleepy Hollow quarterback Joey Good. Go! Joey be good! 10-yard touchdown run. The conversion would fail. The game was tied at 6. More Sleepy Hollow right before the half. Danny Chevry to Johnny Gomez.
That was a shot put throw.
12-6 Sleepy at the half.
How much you think that ball weighs?
Mike Quick loves rain and real grass. Tough handle for the Nyack punt team. Then Sleepy turns it over on a quick pass. 6 turnovers in the second and third quarters. It was a little folly. Yeah. Fourth quarter, Nyack looking for the comeback. Quarterback L.J. Norfleet hits Malik McKell. Malik, 39-yard touchdown run. It was 18-14 with 9.5 left. Nyack back with the ball after another turnover. 4th and 7 from the Sleepy 12-yard line. Not going to get there. Norfleet 1 yard short right there. Sleepy Hollow survives it, beats Nyack by 4. They face Rye next week.
Yeah, tough conditions, but hey, it's football. You got to play in those conditions. I'm just trying to think how many times in 28 years doing this have I talked about Scarsdale football? Not a lot.
No. You are now.
Have to. They have some dudes on this team. And James Nicholas, have you gotten a load of this guy?
I'm going to.
Scarsdale now. 2-0, taking on perennial Section 1 power North Rockland. Giancarlo Cagini with the fake, and then he goes back to James Nicholas.
Wow.
But here,
this is nice. This has a couple dimensions to it. He navigates, he looks. It looks like he's going to get through the guys. No, look at the gear he hits right here, Mike.
3-sport athlete, golf and hockey, really good. Probably going to play golf in college. That was a hole-in-one, 28-15. That's a bit of an upset.
That is an attention getter, and if you didn't believe if you were a little cynical with Scarsdale opening up 1-0, you beat North Rockland. Now you know Scarsdale is a force to be reckoned with. They're going to have a nice year.
I can promise you this: North Rockland will not lose this coming Saturday. There's no way. No way. Against Hosting? No way. It's a big day.
It's a big day at Ralph Cordisco Stadium.
Sure is, because now the stadium will have a field that's named Joe Casarella Field. Our buddy, one of my favorites of all. Yeah. I've known him since day one, 28 years ago, the all-time winningest coach in Section 1 football history. Finally,
yes,
is going to get a great honor. The field will be named after him. Congratulations, Coach.
It's a great honor, especially since it's called Ralph Cordisco Stadium, and it'll be at Casarella Field. And he's the gentleman who hired me, who I work for. He's still alive at 97, so we'll both be there. And to have only 2 coaches in a football program in over 52 years is a great honor. But there's a lot of kids, a lot of sweat, a lot of coaches, a lot of fans put a lot into it, not just Joe Casarella.
Very nice. 255 wins. Rockland County's all-time wins leader. Ralph Cordisco also had 136 when he started in 1956. Second in Rockland County, our buddy Rich Conklin of all those great years at Nanuet, 218 wins. He's now on Mike Scarpelli's staff at Clarkstown South, little known fact. And Johnny Castellano, we just saw Nyack, 180 wins for John Castellano at Nyack.
So what you're saying is Tommy Lynch has a long way to go to catch those guys. When we come back, can Monroe Woodbury make it 4-0 against CHSFL teams the last 3 years? Mr. O'Malley sure was trying.
Now looking to throw on 2nd and 10. Lets this one fly. That pass is complete. He's got Kaffenberger down the near sideline at 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, and Kaffenberger wrestles his way into the end zone. The type of play Ryan O'Malley and company need.
It's taking forever. Nice try, guys. Better luck next year.
Well Fields looks to throw right side, floating pass, end zone, touchdown.
Could be Mike O'Donnell's year. He's got 2 very good quarterbacks. They were embarrassed against Monroe Woodbury 2 years ago. Not the case this time. Let's go. Stepanak coming off their big win against Massachusetts' #1 team. And the Admiral, Brandon Coleman, going to Navy next year. He was doing everything he could to sink the Crusaders on this day. And when he's not running it, Tykel Fields is throwing it, 14-yard touchdown. Danny Negron, he bangs it in from a yard out, 21-3. And then it's Coleman again. Jim, watch how he runs. Got a very smoothness. He's got some great smoothness to his game.
Yeah, they're buying into that 2-quarterback system, and Coach O'Donnell is calling it the revenge tour.
BC, talk to us, buddy.
Coach tells us we're going to take it one game at a time, but we have the talent to go far this year, so that's what we're going to do, and we're just going to take it one game at a time.
Offensive side of the ball for you, as good as your defense was, again, that ground game was superb today. You just committed to the United States Naval Academy. That is a team known for their offensive line and running. I'm sure you've learned so much here at Archbishop Stepanak, but to take that to the next level at the United States Naval Academy, you've got to be pretty excited.
Right, yeah, it's awesome because that's what I've done all throughout my high school career, and to go to a college that kind of is big on running, it's awesome because I hope my game will translate correctly.
You can see why that kid's going to Navy.
Yeah, congratulations to the Coleman family. That's spectacular.
Hey, did you hear about the Erie Bell? Middletown, Port Jervis, they play every year. This game was over. Port Jervis was up 19.
See ya. Get in
with
the car,
5 minutes
go.
left.
Turn around.
All of a sudden, they come back and they win the game. So I had to get that in. The Erie Bell, that's a big deal up in Section 9.
You know there's a few people who were in the car on the ride home and got a cell phone call.
No
you
doubt.
might want to come back.
Exactly.
Good for them. Good for them.
That is so funny.
Hey, I hope some of the red Raiders get out there to see Joe Cassett with that field named after him, right?
I hope the great Derek Owens, we knew him as Derek Owens, now Derek Lassick when he went on to Alabama, the Sugar Bowl MVP, and Dallas Cowboys. I hope he's back.
I mean, remember the highlight of him hurdling the defensive back? The guy went up,
Chili
broke
McAllister,
down.
1988.
He jumped right over him.
Absolutely. How you doing? That's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
that was Section 1 championship. All right, so last week there were 3 in the top 25 from the Hudson Valley. This week only 2, and we debut our small school 15 this week. So there is 1 in there, and every week I do my put a face on it picks, and they are on Thursdays at 2:00.
So have you heard about the revenge tour with Coach O'Donnell and Stepanak? You know, they got walloped by Monroe Woodbury 2 years ago.
Right.
They says, all right, let's get some revenge back on them. Now it's about St. Anthony's. It's about Chaminade. We're going to make things right. And they got the group to do it.
You better watch out for St. Peter's.
No doubt.